Good evening, everyone. Well, should I say good night? It's so late now. I wanted to come live earlier, but mummy life. Just bear with me. I'm just inviting a few people, and then we shall make a start. I don't intend to be on long because it is very, very late now. But I'll be on again tomorrow at an earlier time. I won't give you a time because, like I said, when you've got children, you can't always give times. But I'll be on again tomorrow. Okay, we'll just leave it there for now. So if you've joined me, thank you very much for joining me. You might have seen on my page, you might have seen on other people's pages that it is Baby Loss Awareness Week. What am I doing? Let's introduce myself first. Hi. You should know who I am because you're on my page, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Clark. And I am so many different things, but one of the things I'm most proud of is a mummy to my beautiful children. Let's just wave to some people that are coming on. And I have also, as you can see from the title, experienced a miscarriage. So this is why I do these lives, and it's so passionate to me, and I love to help other people. So what I've done, I've basically used my pain for purpose. My purpose now is to help other people that have gone or are going through the same thing. Can you see the sick from my lovely Shiloh? I apologise. See, this is mummy life. All clean for the live, and then he goes and sicks on me. Right. I'm not ignoring anyone, but I'm going to get started because it's late. So if I don't give you a wave or mention you, you know, I see you, thank you, I appreciate you. I'm just going to crack on. If you want to watch my lives from last year, which I actually did with my husband, they're on my YouTube channel. And if you have a look on the side of my page where it's got all the About Me section, you can see the YouTube channel there, and you can click on and have a look, okay? Right, so the first thing I'm going to speak about is just basically breaking the stigma of miscarriage, of child loss. You know, when you're pregnant, not everybody announces on Facebook. We didn't with Malika, and we didn't with Jackson. Well, we didn't with Jackson at all, and it was literally like hubby's status saying, "Mommy and baby are well," and everyone was like, "What? I didn't know you were pregnant." So that was really, really good. But the excitement that you get from everybody when you announce that you are pregnant, everyone's just like, wow, wow, wow. And it's a natural thing. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone's so happy. Everyone can't wait to see baby pics. But unfortunately, when that pregnancy turns into a miscarriage and there's child loss in any shape or form, it then starts to get really awkward because people do not know what to say. People do not want to see a picture of a deceased baby. Let's just be real, yeah? They don't. When my daughter was born, it was very hard for me to even look at her. It was very hard for me to even hold her. And when I saw my husband do it with just so much ease, I really had to just get myself together and be like, right, I've got to do this, because if I bury her and I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. Give me my child. I remember saying, give me my child. And then I was able to just hold her and, and bond with her before we had to. Well, we could see her, I think it was over a 3-day period. I'm not sure if hubby's watching at the minute because he's upstairs. He's busy with the younger two. Because a lot of it, seriously, yeah, he's watching. Thanks, Hubs. Correct me, because you know what I'm like. A lot of it, I wasn't even present for. And when I say present, I mean I was so traumatised that I was there, but I wasn't there. So hubby was taking in a lot more of the information than I was. Even now I'll be like, did this happen? Did that happen? How did this happen? Because I honestly do not know. So I've actually got some letters here from the hospital, and I'm going to read you maybe one, if not two. But the reason for these lives is because, one, I've experienced it, I've lived it. Two, I want to help as many people as possible. Three, it should never be a stigma. When you have gone through something so horrific as child loss, you should be able to share that. You should be able to speak on that, because secrets make you ill. And if you don't talk about what it is you're going through, you're going to end up with very poor mental health. And, you know, a lot of people that experience different types of trauma do end up with really poor mental health. So, in my case, what caused my miscarriage, even though the post-mortem doesn't actually say this was the cause, but we know this to be the cause, was my preeclampsia. And even when we were getting the results back, the consultant was basically saying, even though on paper it doesn't say it was preeclampsia, you know, they've said to us when we went to go and get the post-mortem results, because of the preeclampsia being so severe, the placenta, twice now I've had placenta issues. The placenta basically broke down and the baby, Destiny, wasn't getting what she needed from the placenta. So that makes sense. And then basically, if she's not getting what she needs and she's separate from me when we should be working together, then basically she was starved of a lot of nutrients and everything else that she should have been getting from me. So, and you know what? I didn't feel any guilt for that, even in the beginning, because I tell you why, and this is why you shouldn't either if the same thing happens. Miscarriages happen. Miscarriages? Miscarriages, yeah, that's right. I'm so tired, guys. They happen, yeah, they happen. Do not beat yourself up. Do not blame yourself, even if you don't know the cause. Even if you do know the cause, and it was the case where you were ill, just the same way that I was, you have not killed your baby. Our bodies are amazing things. We cannot control what happens inside of them. And pregnancy is the unknown. Trust me, after having my 5 children, I know now that pregnancies are the unknown. Now, tomorrow, I think what I might do, while it's on my mind, is speak to you about, at some point I want to do this, every single pregnancy, because with each one, there was an issue. And not a lot of people know that. The most textbook one was praise. Nearly, there's an issue all the time, okay? So, preeclampsia, let's touch on that. What is it? Yes, I've got my notes here. So, preeclampsia, it's a condition, and it's something that's not talked about a lot, which needs to be, because you need to know what signs to look out for if you are expecting. So, preeclampsia is a condition that causes high blood pressure, and I mean high, not just a little bit high, I'm talking through the roof high, during pregnancy and after labour. It can be serious if not treated. Now, that's the main thing I want to get across. Okay, I'll give you an example. Pregnant women have swollen feet, okay? You have swollen hands sometimes, swollen face, sometimes the whole of your body swells up. When I was pregnant with Malika, I looked like the Michelin man. Seriously, I was out here. I was pregnant everywhere, okay? My eyelids were pregnant. I was pregnant, okay? But I know with some pregnancies, you just have a cute little bump and whatever, and the odd little swollen feet, okay? You need to realise that when your feet are swollen to the point where you are in pain, they're not just swollen, you can't get your shoes on. You're actually feeling some discomfort. You've probably got discomfort around your rib cage area, underneath your ribs, in your abdomen. Pay close attention to these, your lower back, because it affects your kidneys as well. All of those things, go and get checked. It's best to go and get checked, and they send you away and say you are absolutely fine. Even in my last pregnancy, there was a few things like the swelling of the feet again, and I thought, uh-oh, because I've had it before, I am now prone to get it again. Let me take myself to the hospital, well, hubby took me, and check and see what it is. And you know what? If the nurses are doing their jobs correctly, no one should ever make you feel silly for going and checking. And the nurses that I had were absolutely amazing. And even though it wasn't preeclampsia that time, they did say, you know, well done for coming up and checking, because you never know. It's best to get checked and be sent away. Okay, so they say that it usually begins after 20 weeks of pregnancy, but can I just point out that it can be before 20. I know people that have had preeclampsia before the 20th week. And I know people that have had it around the 20-week mark, like myself, and I know people that have had it later on in pregnancy, like the 38-week stage. Can I also say that it can affect a woman of any age? So the textbooks, when they are in the books, because they're not in all of them, so you have to really do your research, they tell you that most of the time you'll get preeclampsia if the Your children have different, so basically, if the father is different, it could be the case where, don't get me how, guys, I don't know, do your research, but they did say, is it the same dad? This, that, and the other, they ask you all these things. If it's a different father, for some reason, the chances are higher. If you are over 40, but again, I know people that it's happened to that have been way younger. I'm talking in their 20s. They normally say from around like 35 to 40. What I'm trying to say to you is just be aware, because whatever is written in the books, we are so uniquely made that unique things happen. And this is what we need to try to get the nurses and doctors to understand. Stop going by the book. When I bring myself to the hospital, check me, because I'm a unique case. What's happening with me might not be the same as what's happened with Sheila or Laura or, you know, Sandy. Just check. Get them to check you, because seriously, they will send you away saying, oh no, if that's the case, if it's the same dad and you're only 24, you'll be all right. Do not let them send you away. Be checked and then go once you've been told no, once the tests come out as negative. Please, I hope that this is saving someone's life, someone's child's life as well, because preeclampsia can also take the mother's life, which is what I'm going to get onto now. So the symptoms, weight gain, but again, just be very careful. Don't just think every bit of weight gain is preeclampsia, because, you know, there's different types of weight gain, as I've said to you. If you are really, really swelling and you're just feeling a bit uncomfortable and you've got pain, get it checked out. Edema, which is basically, you know, when your skin's really rising and you can feel all the fluid underneath. Hypertension, which is your blood pressure. Risk factors, kidney disease, which my kidneys, I was in a right state. I was in so much pain. I had to get me to keep drinking loads of water. The minute we found out it was preeclampsia, I was admitted, no questions asked. That was it. I had to stay in hospital. It was only a few days after Christmas. Again, hobby's on. So if I'm talking complete nonsense, he will type in, because I'm just so tired now. I will be earlier tomorrow, I promise. So, okay, let's have a look at what can happen if you've got preeclampsia, because it's nothing to be worried about. Just make sure you use your voice, okay? So, what does preeclampsia do? Preeclampsia can cause your blood pressure to rise and put you at risk of brain injury. And this is why some ladies suffer strokes as well. I didn't realise this until after. The doctor kept saying to me, and did you have a seizure? Did you have a seizure? Did you have a stroke? And I was thinking, why does he keep asking this? Again, he might have explained, but I was so, at the time, with the loss, I wasn't really taking in much. But I know that didn't happen. It can impair kidney and liver function and can cause blood clotting problems. You'll probably be given a Clexane injection afterwards for a course. I think I had mine for around 9 to 10 days, but this time round, so I was very, very high risk. I had a massive box that I had to take for hubby. Type in how long I had to take that for. I can't even remember. I think it was 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, so you can have pulmonary edema, which is basically fluid on the lungs. After I lost Destiny, they thought that I might have had a blood clot on the lungs because I was struggling to breathe, really struggling. It was all okay, thank God. They admitted me, they checked me, and they did say to me, actually, go home, and if you're struggling to breathe, come back. And I was like, what? No, I'm staying here tonight. And they were like, there's no beds left. I said, that's not a problem. I'll use my coat and I will sleep in the corridor. I was not moving. This is what I'm saying. You've got to really find your voice and be firm, because especially after already losing my child, there's no way I was going to go home to have more trauma. What was that? Can you please type how long I had to have my Clexane injections for? Thank you. So basically, when they realised that I was serious and I wasn't taking, no for an answer, I was staying at that hospital. Because if I'm having breathing problems, my husband has to get me in the car. Jackson was 1 at the time. Get him ready. Get 6-year-old Malika ready and get to the hospital. When I've got severe breathing problems and you think it could be, what did they say? It could be a cyst or something, a blood clot on my lungs. No chance. I said, I'm staying here tonight. So in the end, they put me on a ward, but there were no beds, like they said. So I literally December, and I had like my coat over me, but they were lovely. They still brought me like snacks and dinner and everything else. They were really, really nice, and they looked after me. So do really make sure you push if you think there's something wrong. In my case, that time, everything was fine, and the severe breathing was because of the anxiety. It was all the stress, it was all the trauma. 2 weeks. So you had 8 days when we got home the first time. No, this time with Shiloh, if you can remember. Okay, right, so I'll probably touch more on that tomorrow, guys, okay? Let me just see if there's anything that, okay. What were your first signs? Okay, this might be a good one. So, first signs of preeclampsia could be lower back pain. Mine was terrible. I remember sitting in bed and just feeling awful, and going in the bath, because normally like a nice warm bath just relaxes you and you feel okay. The bath wasn't working. I was crying out in pain, like literally in agony, and hubby kept saying to me, we need to get you to the hospital. And I was saying no, because I'm going to be waiting for hours in A&E and I can't, not in this pain. To cut a long story short, hubby was like, not taking no for an answer, come on, took me to the hospital. We had to wait for about 5 hours, no word of a lie, which I think for a pregnant woman in pain is ridiculous. And hubby kept going up to the receptionist and saying, look, she's in agony. I was literally sitting like this for the whole time. And he was saying, look, she really needs to be seen now. She's like, I think I was 21 weeks pregnant at the time, 22 weeks pregnant. Please, like, she's pregnant. And they were like, look, she has to wait like everybody else. And then he said, but is she not priority because she's pregnant? Like, something could be happening to her, the baby. And they were like, look, she has to wait. So I was just in agony. Lower back pain, that could be impaired to the liver function that I spoke about. Changes in your vision. This one happens to quite a lot of women. Again, don't freak yourself out, because pregnancy, and I've recently just learnt this, changes your vision anyway. I have got 2 different pairs of spectacles now that I have to wear at different times, and the prescription on them is suited to how my vision was at that time when I was pregnant, if that makes sense. And I probably need them doing it again. So pregnancy does change your eyes as well, because it changes the shape of your eyes and just, yeah. Okay, sudden weight gain, so of more than 4 pounds in a week. So if you're really expanding, like I said, not just being pregnant weight, but really putting on weight. And also protein in your urine. Again, don't freak out if you get this, because I had protein in my urine nearly all the way through with Jackson, and he was fine. But do just get it looked at. And also shortness of breath. Again, don't panic. A lot of these things you're going to get in pregnancy anyway, but they can occur if it is preeclampsia. So please, if you're watching and you're expecting and you are, getting any of these symptoms, please get checked. I would rather you get checked and everything's okay than you ignore the symptoms, okay? Right then, so we spoke about the anxiety, which I had afterwards. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read you a letter that I've got from the hospital. And this was to do with when I had to have, what was it called now? Like a 24 ECG. So I was fitted with like a monitor to go home and just have a look at the heart and see what it was doing, because I do think sometimes it was palpitations, but then after a while I just thought, oh, I'm feeling a bit off, best to get checked. So we went and I had it fitted, and then basically, yeah, I'll just read it to you, okay? Hi Monica, thanks for joining. So it's addressed to my doctor, and then it says, thank you for sending Michelle to the clinic. I was very sorry to hear that she lost her daughter earlier this year. So this was back in 2017. She's understandably extremely anxious, which is exactly what happened. And this has led her to suffering from frequent palpitations of late. I am quite sure that she is experiencing ectopy, including short runs in brackets, and this will be confirmed with a 24-hour ECG, which should achieve symptom, rhythm, correlation. She is otherwise well, because really it was all in here, like trauma does strange things to your mind. She's normotensive and basically, in brackets, preeclampsia during pregnancy. Her physical examination as well. Can I just explain? The reason why they've put preeclampsia during pregnancy is because you can also have symptoms of preeclampsia after pregnancy. So yeah, but that's something that I won't get into in this video. Then it basically says her 12-lead ECG is normal, and in particular, the PR and QT intervals are normal. I have strongly reassured her, and they did. Oh, everyone I saw was so nice. They were literally like, you have lost your daughter. You have lost your child. It's normal for your heart to be going bum-de bum-de bum-de, but like, it's normal. It's freaking you out and making you think that something's going to happen to you, but it's not. You are okay. Because what I began to develop was, what's it called now? And very strongly, I developed health anxiety. I've spoken about this before on another live. So after losing her, because I knew that the preeclampsia was the reason for me being so ill, and then the placenta breaking down and her not getting what she needed, I just thought, what's happening to my body? I've had 2 healthy children. Why is this happening now? Something must be going on. So I immediately went into I'm not well mode, and every day I thought I had something or was dying of something. It was a horrible time, to the point where, no word of a lie, I would wake hubby up at crazy o'clock in the morning to take me to the hospital. It was getting to the point where I think after I came home from initially losing her, I was in the hospital nearly every week, sometimes 2-3 times a week. And if I wasn't there, I was getting hubby to call the paramedics to the house. Like, I needed constant reassuring that, okay, I'm okay, I'm going to be fine today. Then the next day, right, I'm okay, I'm fine today. I needed a professional to say to me, you are okay. And that went on for quite some time. So that is what I'm talking about when it comes to your mental health after going through something so traumatic. When I look back now and I look at the way that I was, I don't even recognize myself. But again, trauma is a horrible thing. Okay, so that's the letter, basically. Just outlining what happened, what they had to send me home with, and also that I was fine. It was just the stress. And the reason why I've chosen to read that letter tonight is my closing point is going to be to any mothers watching this that have gone through what I've gone through. Your body is going to do some weird, strange things if you are just going through this, or if you went through it and you feel okay within yourself now, but you just want answers. You just don't realise why certain things were happening. It most probably was the trauma from that event. I used to shake. I realise now that that was called a tremor. I would literally have panic attacks nearly every day or every other day. And I'd literally curl up in a ball, the fetus position, because I'd feel safe that way, climb into bed, duvets over me, and I'd literally shake. And the worst thing about it is you can't control the shaking. I was just shaking and shaking and shaking, and then I'd stop, and then I'd shake again, and sometimes you are violently shaking, and it's like, what is happening? But now I know it was the trauma causing these tremors, causing the anxiety, and playing tricks with your mind. So if you're going through it now and you're watching this, just know that it will pass. But what you need to do is just realise that your body is reacting to what has happened to you. Remember, the mind sends signals to the body. You're not ill. You're not going to die. These are all the thoughts that I was having. It's just the way that your body is reacting to the trauma. What you need to do is have coping strategies. Now, again, I'm not going to go into them in this video, but if you want to speak about the best way to cope in a situation like that, please, please, please do message me, because I have so many now. And what I did at that time, I started going to group counselling and one-to-one counselling, and it wasn't all for miscarriage. Some of it was just how to learn to control the body when it's in a trauma state. I went to some amazing counselling sessions and learned some tips that I can pass on. So please, please, please do find yourself in my inbox if you need to know what these are, if you're struggling right now, and watch your body just transform, because it's all about the way you are thinking. With me, because I had the health anxiety, my body was just in the fight or flight position every day, basically. Every day I was like ready to go. I was on edge all the time, and that causes severe stress. You know, you're supposed to be in fight or flight if you are in danger. So can you imagine how exhausting that is, being in fight or flight every day? I'd literally wake up, remember what's happened, and I'd be ready. I'd be on tender hooks, because I'm thinking, okay, so what's going to happen now? It's traumatic, it's horrible, it's one of the most horrific things you could ever go through, but that doesn't mean that bad things are just going to keep happening. So retrain your mind. Don't think because that's happened, now what's going to happen, now what's going to happen. Don't overwhelm yourself, don't overload yourself, just focus on what has happened to you. And I can't stress enough, talk. And unfortunately, in a situation like this with miscarriage or any type of child loss, you can't just offload to anybody, because not everybody gets it. And I'm not talking about, oh, you can only speak to somebody who's been through it. With some people, that's how, you know, they see fit, and that's completely fine. But I spoke to some amazing people who I know haven't been through what I've been through, and they still really helped. It's all about just speaking to somebody who is really listening to you. You know, in the beginning, I had people that would just literally come and sit with me, and that was enough. That's all I needed, because in the beginning, I actually went mute. I didn't speak. I'd say the odd word. I wasn't really eating, but I was just there. I wasn't saying a lot. Again, the stress, the trauma. But just having somebody there was enough for me. I was supported. It's like, yes, I've got somebody there. So sometimes that's all a person needs, just to know that somebody is there, somebody gets them, somebody is listening, yes? And with hubby giving all the heart, I keep saying I'm going to go, but he's just reminding me. Before I leave you this evening, can I just say, hubby, and you know, 'cause I've done a live on this before, was amazing throughout the whole thing. Can I just say to you, okay? Do not forget about the fathers. Dads grieve too. Don't forget about them. Because in the hospital, I found that I had to really be assertive. And it was at a time where I was very vulnerable. I was grieving. It had been hours, probably not even hours that I'd lost Dad, but it was the same day, I remember. And I had to really be assertive and put on my assertive voice and remind the staff, excuse me, this is his baby as well. And it upset me that I had to go there, but sometimes you just have to. And I had to let them know, you are running around me and rallying around me and doing everything for me, and he is just sitting there, and he is broken. He is as broken as I am. And once I said that, would you like something to eat, Mr. Clark? Would you like this? You see, they changed. So again, it's all about speaking. Don't be scared to find your voice, but please, 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 if you're medical staff watching this, if you are the other half to that man watching this, okay, do not forget about the fathers. If you are family members of someone who this has happened to, do not forget about the fathers, because again, they have double stigma. One, the miscarriage, and two, the fact that, you know, oh, men don't really speak about this thing. They have to stay strong for the misses and just get through it. Well, he was amazingly strong for me, but he went through it as well, and we still go through it today. So I'm just saying, please don't forget about the dads. Monica, before I go, how can you help someone that doesn't want support, and you know they need help? Right. That's a tricky one, because I'm assuming this person is an adult, yes, so 18 plus. You can't force help on anybody. That could actually do the opposite and cause more trauma, because if they're not receiving the help, then they're obviously not acknowledging what's happened, or they're not ready to acknowledge what's happened. So all you can do is be the best support that you can. Support, like I've just said, doesn't always mean getting help. You need to do this, you need to do this. Sometimes it can become too overwhelming, Monica. I went through a stage where I had to get the kids out the room. I suffered, and I still do sometimes, with, I can't remember the name for it, but basically I couldn't hear noise past a certain level. It was really, I can't even explain it. I remember walking into the bowling alley with the kids, and it was kind of like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. But part of me was like, no, stay for the kids. They've just lost their sister. Let's go, let's do bowling. But part of me was like, I need to get out of here. Because what happens is, you're hearing the sound, but it sounds 10 times louder. And it is like a sensory overload. You're literally like that. And you just want to get out and be in a quiet, calming, peaceful place. So that person that you speak about, Monica, could also be experiencing that. And too much people doing that right now could, cause an adverse effect. So again, you can DM me and we can discuss more. But what I would say is just be there. That's one of the best things you can do. Just be there. If it's a situation where you find that person is now in danger, or they're basically, I don't know, you think they could harm themselves or somebody else, then there's loads of different numbers that I can give you. Again, DM me, because I'm telling you, it really messes with your head. Really messes with your head. I remember saying, I don't want to be here anymore. I remember screaming that. I remember being in the Asda car park and just not being able to breathe. And I had my mum on the phone, hubby in the front of the car, and I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I just started screaming from nowhere, and my mum was like, stop that talk now, stop. So I can laugh about it now, but she was like, stop that talk now, you don't want to be speaking like that. But I'm telling you, at the time, it was far from funny. It was horrific. Every day was a battle. It was a battle to get up and just be alive. It was a battle to get up and deal with my other children. It was a battle to even go in the kitchen and cook and just live a normal life after you've lost a child. It really takes some work on yourself to get back to that person who you were, or just get back to functioning normally. Because what you need to remember is, when something like that happens, you are not functioning normally anymore. Okay, in some cases. I can't say that for everybody, but especially people that have maybe gone through these 2, 3, 4 times, they then have the coping mechanism. But when it hits you out the blue and it's like, whoa, what's happening? Like, I didn't know a lot about miscarriage at all, and I had to learn all this, and it was something that hit me for the first time, and it hit me hard. I felt like I'd just been ran over. Not that I know what that feels like, but it hit me hard. So, Monica, I'm here, and as you know, I've got my support group, Forget Me Not Babies. It's in memory of my daughter, but it's for everybody, and that's why I call it Forget Me Not Babies. And it's also based on her resting place, which is the Forget Me Not Garden in Bushbury. So I'm here, I am here, and that's not just to Monica, that's anybody that is watching. And I'll be live again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So it starts today, it ends on the 14th, and then on the 15th we have the candle lighting. You know, you've probably seen it on my page. When we light the candles in memory of our precious babies and other babies. If it's never happened to you, you can still light a candle, you know, in memory of my lovely destiny or somebody else's baby, or just because you want to support, and that would be lovely. And then you can just stick it on your page. And then SANS and other companies and groups and support groups and just support out there, they normally run like like a feed, a live feed, so you can actually read all of the parents' messages. It's beautiful. I think it lasts for an hour. Absolutely, a bit Wave of Light it's called. So you block out a lot, but you know, we'll all get there, we'll pull together and we'll heal together. So listen, I'm going to go. I'll be back again tomorrow earlier. Can't say what time, but I will be back earlier. Thank you for watching. If you do watch this on the replay, please hashtag replay so I know that you're watching on the replay. Ask questions, you know, come into my inbox, ask what you need to ask. And if you're asking me something and it is in confidence, just know that it will always stay that way. After going live last year, a lot of people came into my inbox and said, Michelle, it's happened to me. And I'm telling you, these are people that I've known for years, okay? So just know that you can speak to me and I will support you, and it will stay like that. Unless you come on one of my lives and say anything about your situation, I never will, okay? I'm just here to support you. So thank you again. Look after yourself, look after your mental state. And remember, even if it's not miscarriage, speak about whatever it is that is bothering you. The saying that I love is, you have to reveal it to heal it. I absolutely love that, and it's so true. If you don't speak about what the issue is, you're just going to keep hurting from it, okay? So I encourage you to talk about it. Get your pain out, yeah? Get your pain out. Hurt, feel it. There's nothing wrong with feeling that pain. And I'm telling you, from your pain will come purpose. Good night, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.